Recording.
Look at that. Welcome to episode 2 of ImPrOv'D. Right Invention. We have a podcast now, and it's the only improv podcast in Philadelphia. So that's neat. We're cleaning up a niche market here. Hi, Eric. What's
Hello,
up?
Shea. How are you?
I'm tired. I've just done productive stuff all day, and it was terrible.
Well, I was productive as well, and maybe our guest was just as productive as us.
Yes.
I get for these first couple of podcasts, we're going to do all of the Bright Invention members, talk to them, see what they're about, get to know them on a more intimate level, and not that intimate. So
Save it for scenes.
So we're bringing in the one and only Suzanne Anderson. Suzanne Anderson, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Hi. Good to see you.
You're digging the flag in the back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I like your computer corner.
Well, I have an office, so it's my office. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fancy.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've worked from home off and on over the years, so it's my home office.
What are some of the benefits of having a nice home office?
I can close the door and no one, have privacy so that I can talk to people. You know, I'm a therapist, so I do teletherapy, and it's HIPAA compliant. Ooh.
Yeah.
Really? How long have you been a therapist?
Since 1993.
It's a long time.
Wow.
Long time.
That's a long time. Do you have like friends and stuff?
My whole life.
Do you have friends coming up to you to ask you for advice?
Kind of, yeah. But what it is they say they know that I'm not going to give them therapy, but they'll ask for support, or I just need a vent, and then it's important for me to make sure I keep my boundaries. And I'll be like, well, do you want me to just listen and witness what you have to say, or do you want me to help you figure it out? And then we go from there. I have a student. I'm doing clinical supervision with a student. And I think it kind of surprised her because last week she had a really bad day at work and she wanted to basically vent about work. And then I sent her a bill.
Oh, nice.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's my job, man. She pays me for my clinical expertise, and I charge for it. So.
I mean, that's respectable. You have to kind of expect that.
Yeah.
At least some type of compensation.
Yeah.
See these degrees? This means that you pay me.
This means
Right.
money. This means
Right.
money from your pocket
This wasn't free. Yeah.
So, Suze, you're part of the Bright Invention Improv group. Please let the people know how you got into improv.
8th grade drama class.
Really?
Yeah, we had to take drama in 8th grade, and it was improv only. And we would get up and we would do scenes. We called them skits, and the teacher was the only cool teacher in middle school. And we could talk about anything. And sometimes people would talk about, getting high and bumming around, and we cracked each other up, and it was really fun.
That's so real. My high school theater teacher was the one who showed me how to smoke a bowl. I didn't smoke or do anything in high school. I was a very, sheltered, innocent little baby child, and I was doing a monologue for an audition for a summer program from August Osage County, and the character, starts out with, "Mind if I smoke a bowl?" I did not even know what that
Okay.
And he was coaching me, and he was like, oh, you really don't know. And he had to sit me down and teach me years
How to simulate smoking,
how to simulate, yeah. When Ruby was in 9th grade, she was cast in Rent, like a teenage production of Rent, and she had to be coached. She wasn't Mimi, but Mimi's the, the prostitute, the heroin addict prostitute. And so she was understudying for Mimi, and they had to coach her on how to shake her ass. And how to be seductive, because she was 14, she didn't, thank God, she didn't have any knowledge of that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a
Good
thing.
Oh yeah.
Not unlike your pristine lack of drug use coaching,
You had to be taught to shimmy too. What was this? This was 8th grade guys and dolls, not the hot box girls had to be taught by shimmy, but how to shimmy properly. But the theater teacher that directed the middle school,
that's a shimmy.
Was this is this little old lady? So we're
right?
Teaching a bunch of middle school girls, how to shimmy. It was.
That would be twerking. Yeah, I hope not.
And then 8th grade drama class, and then
and then I was in plays, plays in high school and stuff like that. And then I didn't do any drama until I became a lawyer. Then I was acting constantly in front of the bar of the court. Seriously, there's a lot of drama in that. But I didn't. When Ruby went away to college, they started doing improv, and would come home for breaks and talk about it. And I was like, well, that sounds pretty fun. I think I could do that. And then I heard about Fit, because Ruby's director from Rent went to Fit, and he was telling me about it. And so I just started going to Fit, and went through the whole curriculum, and was on a couple of teams, improv teams. And then I was in a show, I forget what we called it. I think we called it Up All Night. And it was like a randomly cast show of people who didn't know each other. And we had 24 hours to do a improv into sketch show, and then perform it. So that's how I met Josh. Remember Josh? Mm-hmm. And he recommended me to Ben to audition, and then
And that's it. And here you are.
And now you're one of us.
One of us.
Me and Eric and Kirsten, we came in the same class.
Yeah.
And we're both from the Fit. Well, I didn't do the whole curriculum, but I did one class, and that was it.
Oh, did you?
One series?
Yeah, I did 101, 201, 301, 401, intro to sketch.
They said I was too advanced to do all those classes.
Right. You didn't need it.
I just did the first one. They were like, somebody get this guy. So hoist him up on your shoulders.
Hoist him up on his patootie. On his petard. Yep, I believe you. That's plausible.
Well, thank you.
So your background as a therapist and a social worker, does that affect your improvising in any way?
Yeah, I think it does. I think I do. I'm a good listener, and I don't feel like I have to talk every second I'm on stage. I can listen, I can stop, I can pause, I can think about what I want to say next. So and because I've also done a lot of group therapy, I'm used to being watched, being the center. So that's helped me have more, just more chill, unless we're trying to do comedy improv, and then I have no chill. Then I just get real frenetic and then there's no chill.
Yeah, I will say, doing scenes with you always really get to kind of the heart of the scene, the emotional deal of it really well. I said, well, if I can't find it, I know Suzanne is gonna find it.
Or create it.
Yeah, or create it. Or
most definitely.
Did you do that because you really feel like this? And everyone goes, oh my God, I did. And then it makes the scene.
Oh, thank you. Not my feelings. I don't want to talk about my feelings.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't want to just drag it out of me, and I appreciate it. But do you ever find that the opposite is true? Do you ever find, bringing principles from improv into the therapy side of things ever?
Definitely in group therapy. I see myself as sort of kind of directing directing what's going on in the room. And especially if I want to say something, but I know that it won't have the impact as it would be if one of the group members would say it, then I would sort of like turn to the group member who I think will say what I want them to say, and like give them an offer and see if they take it. And then if they don't, I'm like, fuck. And then I have to find another person to try to like throw it to them and give them the offer. And then if they don't take it, then I have to kind of say, well, I can see that John doesn't really believe that that's an issue, and Carol is not really seeing, but I'm wondering if maybe. So like, it is definitely making offers and responding to them, and really listening, like paying attention to the whole. I do a group in circle, obviously. So paying attention to the whole room, watching how they're reacting to me. I try to be funny a lot of times when I'm doing therapy, to sort of break the ice and get them to like me.
The laughter helps, I assume, right?
As long as they don't do it to a fault, I mean.
I do it to escape.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Well, when I'm doing it too much, it's performative, and then that's not helpful, and I learned about that. But when I have clients that are doing it, it comes to a point where I say to them, do you feel like you have to entertain me? And then they're like, no. I'm like, okay, because when you come in, you're so entertaining, you're really funny, but is that really how you want to spend your time with me? I don't know what you get out of it, and that's usually a pretty good conversation when I finally, time out. It's enough. It's not the Shea show. I'm your therapist, and you don't have to entertain me. You don't have to come in with I've had clients come in and I can tell they've kind of like written notes, like what they want to talk to me about, because they're like worried, like with improv, right? They're worried that they're not going to come up with anything. I don't have anything going on. Life is good. I've had so many times I've had that. Life is good right now. I'm happy. I don't have any problems. Like, all right, that is actually the perfect time to see me, because then we can talk about when things aren't good and take that apart while you're feeling safe and stable.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
actually makes sense. Damn.
There's a real urge to be entertaining. There's those viral kind of text posts that float around different social media platforms. Yeah. I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on Tumblr, where there's this one where someone says like, oh, somebody makes their therapist, laugh at a joke. You're like, oh, good, they're laughing. I'm going to get an A in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win therapy.
That's how you
win therapy.
I won therapy today. Yeah.
Which is also a feeling that comes up a lot in improv. And I find something that's very freeing about the work we do in Bright Invention is that because it doesn't necessarily have to be comedy and the pressure to be funny is off, I think that when we are funny, it's more earned. It feels more genuine.
Yeah.
And more kind of well-rounded funny. Yeah. Like you can be sad funny. And I think those are always the best scenes.
Right. Poignant.
Mm-hmm.
Relatable too.
Relatable. Yeah.
Or grounding zany characters in a hard emotional truth. Like I always go back to the time you did the whole series of scenes with Ben, where you guys were the divorced couple, and you both had these crazy accents, and you were ostensibly very zany, funny characters. Mm-hmm. But the situation you found yourselves in was so not and so real that it struck that balance.
I remember that really well. It was right after one of my kids went off to college, and we were a couple whose kid had gone to college, and we went and visited them.
Carlo was your son.
Yeah. Kirsten was the kid that went off to college, and Ben was embarrassing her like at the quad,
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we've done a lot.
That is real life, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The awkwardness makes it real. It makes it funny.
Oh, that's my specialty.
But it's a genuine awkward moment, but it's awkward. So
yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
I think not being afraid to be awkward is kind of an important thing in improv.
Mm.
And even if you're afraid, like, oh no, the scene will bomb, that's not even a scary thing. I think I said on the last episode that the best thing is that audiences are just as entertained to watch you bomb as they are
People
to
love
watch
watching
you do it.
people
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah. So either way, someone's getting a show.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Do you think people come to shows just to watch in the hopes that somebody will bomb?
Some people do.
Like, what do you?
It's more of a stand-up problem, but
That is a stand-up problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I don't know. I had a friend, it was Kelvin's really good friend, my husband's really good friend. And he used to say to his wife, like, I'm just so scared to go see a show because I want them to do a good job, and I'm going to be so sad for them if they don't, you know? And so I think about that, you know, like, oh, I don't want them to feel bad for me. I don't want to secondhand embarrassed. One of my kids used to use that term, secondhand embarrassed. I don't want anybody to be secondhand embarrassed for me.
yeah, that's true. There's good bad and there's bad bad.
Yeah.
There's shots
cringy.
for the bad and secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
One is fun and one is not.
Yeah. And I guess the trick is when you start getting into that secondhand embarrassed like waters, that you see it, right? You're like, oh, okay, I get this. And then like just sort of snuggle in it, you know?
yeah, if you commit to it,
Yeah.
you will get comfortable in it.
Yeah.
And then you can ride with it. And it's no longer awkward to you. It's just you, the character.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just well, there's truth in that. You know, I was thinking about in the thread today when Ben was asking you about this show and getting it ready to air, you know, and you said that I was the guest tonight. His next statement was, well, I have a lot of really important people in the improv community in Philadelphia. I want to be guests. Like, oh, all right. Thank you very much.
Suze is probably in my top 3 most important people in Philadelphia, just in general.
Thank you.
Excellent cook.
Yes, thank you.
The palate of a goddess.
The palate of a goddess.
Cool dogs.
Very cool dogs.
And
smell good too. I gave the puppy another bath today.
Oh man, how do you deal with the hair?
It's a battle, man. You know, it's the hair I can deal with, but he developed this like horrible, like greasy cheese ass funk that was just like the most putrid thing I've ever smelled in my life.
Coming out of his ass?
I've come from his whole body. It was like this thing coming out of his skin, you know, and there was no reason for it, no like cut or wound or anything. He had this funk. And we were at dog training, and our trainer said, she said to me, you should get that looked at. There's medicated shampoo you can buy to get that taken care of. And I was like, really? And so I took him to the vet, and the vet was going through like her triage about like what's not going on. She said, but Mrs. Anderson, I did appreciate the odor.
Oh man, you got a stinking dog.
I bet you appreciated that odor, yeah.
Like
I like the word choice, appreciate. That's like the tagline to something.
I appreciated the odor. It was awful. And we would take him to the dog park, and people, like, he's so friendly, and you know, he'd run up to people and they would want to pet him, and they're all over him, and then eventually it's hilarious across the park. You watch the process. You're just like, oh, he's so cute. Well, he kind of stinks. I go, oh God, this dog really stinks. And we'd be cackling from across the park because it was so funny. It's bad. It was bad.
You have a walking stink bomb.
We called him Stinky Winky.
So did you wash? Is he like good now?
Yeah, I have to do it twice a week for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Did they say what the problem was? Is he like, dogs don't sweat, but
no, it's like this kind of like fungal bacterial growth on his skin. I guess some dogs get it from time to time, and so for only $32 a bottle, I got 2 bottles of Funk shampoo, and it lasts for two baths per $32, so $16 a bath.
And hopefully
great.
That's fancy. That's pretty fancy, actually.
It's fancy, and it works. He smells great. He smells great.
Good, like, human shampoo doesn't even cost that much. So
well, I'll give you some, Eric.
I can use some. My hair is
shampoo
like,
for
stinky.
Men, but
You gotta let it soak in for 10 minutes.
That's cool. I got 10 minutes to kill.
You can
How do you
soak it in.
keep them still in the bath? I was like, how do you keep a golden retriever still in water for 10 minutes?
Oh, he's on the stoop in front of my house.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
I
he's
leashed
not
him to the
inside.
fence. Yeah,
Okay.
hose.
Wait, was that I know you posted a picture online of the dog in like a pool. Was that stuff like seeping off of them when the water was all murky?
No, that was mud from his feet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the dog trainer was the one that made that snarky comment about that was the cheese funk releasing from his body.
Damn.
I take my dog to the pet store to use their baths because
Yeah, I've done that too. I did that last week. Yeah. I don't like it as much because you have to wear a mask, and I hate those masks.
Yeah.
So you just wash them in a
although
tub?
it helps
Hose.
so much though, because when I'm blow drying her, because otherwise it'll take the entire day.
Yes.
Then, like the hair storm, I found that the mask helps with that so much that I'm like, you know what? Even after the pandemic's over, I'm gonna keep that just for washing Lulu, so I don't just have dog hair in my lungs.
Hair storm is a really good way of putting it. That's funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole bath area is like a snow globe of hair. I'm just
It's true.
apologizing to the employees. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's why I was doing that too. And she's like, no, look, hair's our middle name. We're totally fine with that. Don't worry about that. I said, all right, good.
like
So yeah, I did that today. My day was not that busy because I'm waiting for school to start again. So I did that and got my teeth cleaned. And
are you going back in the building for school? Or is it
no,
all virtual?
no, nobody is until November sometime. And I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to go back at all. I can do remote work from my home office the whole year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They're not trying to shame you into going back. I'm hearing
They're being really cool about it, Eric. They're being
That's cool.
really cool.
That's
Yeah.
I have a friend that's a teacher, and they're trying to, oh, we really need you here. And she's
Well,
like,
teachers maybe, yeah, but I'm not a teacher, so
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I told them if they made me come back, I would do teletherapy from my office at school. Like, you're not bringing anybody in my room. There's no one coming in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
They just clear the hall when you walk in. Like
Yeah,
the
right.
president.
Yeah.
Get the Secret Service to clear the area. Mrs. Anderson's coming through. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's gonna be rough. Well, I wish you luck with that because it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Everybody's still adjusting to.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say adjusting. You should have adjusted by now. It's been 6 months. Like it's.
Yeah, but I mean, we all had like this sort of stasis, and so they pulled us back into our houses on March 13th. Lydia came home from college, has been in the house all summer long. Temple's going back into in-person classes, and Lydia has to be up there 3 days a week for in-person classes, and that's
so scary.
It's very scary.
Oh yeah.
Very scary. I think it's going to change, but for now, because I think she was saying that that Penn and Drexel are both only going remote. There's no face-to-face. That's what she told me. So
I'm sure they will take precautions.
I'm sure, right? Because what could go wrong with a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds in close proximity with each other? Of course, they're going to socially distance and mask. Obviously,
right? There's nothing grodier than dorm living. There's nothing grodier.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, especially if there's alcohol involved or anything like that.
So they'd be underage, so that wouldn't happen, right?
Yeah, sure.
Never.
Maybe in like a movie or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Movie college.
Yeah.
But in this movie that happened in theaters, once you start consuming alcohol, you really don't. You throw caution to the wind. Like you don't care anymore.
You do. That is called a disinhibitor, Eric.
Yep.
Alcohol is a disinhibitor.
Ooh.
It makes your filter porous. So that's why it's a bad idea when someone has, like, say, a heroin habit to drink alcohol. Not because of cross addiction. That's bullshit. The reason is that it's a disinhibitor, and it makes their filter to stop using heroin less effective because they're disinhibited. And so they'll drink, and then they'll.
It's that much easier to pick up the phone and call your heroin guy.
Right. Call your
Oof.
heroin guy. That's what they do. They pick up the phone and they call their heroin guy.
Huh. I guess that makes sense if you're sober from drugs, that you just kind of become sober from alcohol as well, just because you don't want that
Right.
disinhibitor to
Yeah.
kind of ease you back into that old life.
Right.
Huh.
It's just playing Russian roulette with your health if you do that. You know, it's like it doesn't make any sense. You know. So, yes, it is a disinhibitor, and that's
Ooh, I'm learning tonight. I like it.
yes.
Oh yeah.
I'll learn you.
Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you learning us. I
Mm-hmm.
know we try to keep this to a half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
We try. Maybe we'll start it once we nail down a good format and all that. We'll
Get used
probably
to
extend
this
this
podcast.
a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 10 o'clock, 10:03 East Coast time, and we've held you up for 38 minutes. So,
Oh,
Suze,
okay.
if you want to say your, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything special?
Can I plug something for one of my kids?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. My older kid, Ruby, is hosting a comedy show on an app called TV Co. This Sunday night. They're calling it Chakra Con. It's going to be a guest host format. They're calling it kind of like a TED Talk with guests, and they're going to have 6 guests, and they filmed an opening at Bartram Gardens yesterday. So it's called TV Co. is the app, and you have to download it, but it's pretty fun. And it's Brooklyn Comedy Network. Let me see if I can find. Here it is, TV Co. That's what the app looks like. Can you see it?
Wait, I saw it for a hot sec, and then
You
now.
can't see it. It's just
Oh,
TV
now I see
Co.
the logo. Now I see the logo. TV.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, TV Co. Learn how to use Google. If you can post a picture of your muffin on Instagram, you can learn how to use Google to look at TV Co.
The Google.
That
Use the
might
Google.
violate their terms and conditions, Eric, if you post a picture of your muffin on Instagram.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can't.
Anything else? So you got that. Shea, what are you plugging?
Oh, hey, this weekend, fellow Bright Invention Ensemble member Kirsten Adams and I will be teaching a character building workshop. So this is a 3-day intensive where we basically break down all of the steps that it takes that we've, as long form improvisers, have kind of learned to do very quickly throughout the course of a show on how to build a character from the ground up, you know, from both an outside in approach and also an inside out approach. So you can start with something as simple as one kind of physical quirk, or you can have, you know, an idea or a concept in your head and how to build that up, you know, from the bare bones. Day 2 is going to be, you know, developing that character, fleshing it out through structured, you know, improvisational exercises and games. And then day 3 is kind of letting that character fully live in scenes.
Okay.
It's a great tool, and not just for, you know, actors and improvisers and comedians, but also anybody who builds characters in other contexts, like online or live action role playing, people who play D&D, writers. You know, there's lots of people who build characters, and if you ever feel stuck developing a character and be like, you know what if I just used a totally different part of my brain to build a character and physicalize it, you know, this workshop's also for you.
Awesome. So where can we find that? The Bright Invention webpage?
Yes, under classes.
All right. As far as my plugs go, just check out Bright Invention, the Twitter, the Instagram, the main website, so you can check out the class Shay's talking about. Check out that TV Co app so you can see some good comedy this Saturday night as well.
It's this Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
Sunday night.
Brooklyn Comedy
9
Network.
o'clock. Brooklyn Comedy Network. And we have another show coming up on August 22nd, Asteroids.
Mm-hmm.
This should be out before then, and another episode will be out before then as well.
And Asteroids is totally different, so we're doing 2 shows. The Sun and Its Planets is more of the long form style improv show, more, you know, gets a little meatier, a little more serious. And Asteroids is fun, zany, more on the short formy kind of things with heavy audience participation.
I love that.
So Sun and Its Planets more like sit back and watch a play being made up in front of you, and Asteroids is, you know, more like a party and fun collisions and heavy involvement. So
Did you add that in there because of Asteroids, the collisions?
it's why I decided to call it that.
All right, make sure you check. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon so you can listen and or view this. Thank you, Suze, for joining us tonight. Truly appreciate it. I'm Eric Walker.
I'm Shea Sonsky.
And this has been ImProv by Bright Invention.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.